car has a personality, you know. You don't want that car over there, that economical car over there, you know. That thing was owned by a little old lady, you know, wearing her scarf and everything, you know, putting along, you know, going buying cat food for 20 cats, you know. No, you care about that souped up 57 Chevy. There we go. You know what a 57 Chevy is, all right? You want that one over there, it's people have been laid in it, you know. I mean, it's like lived through wars and everything. It's been raced. You know, that's a car with a story. That's the car you want right there. Okay, because that car want you. There's an ass for every seat.
Well, it started probably my youngest obsession was with NASCAR. I used to be obsessed with stock car racing when I was a kid.
All right, who was your favorite driver?
Yeah, Darrell Waltrip.
How about that?
But I actually like Darrell Waltrip when he was still considered to be a dirty driver. When a lot of people didn't like him. Then I probably stayed obsessed with NASCAR until probably like my sophomore year in high school.
I want to do a little bit of exercise on that for a second, and we can take a brief detour. All right, so you're watching a regular NASCAR race, okay? Now watch these guys go drive round and round and round and round in a loop. It's not like football where there's like, enough, there's enough detail to distinguish one player from another, like in their playing style, what exactly they do out there, on the field and everything. Take two drivers, Joe Blow and John Smith, all right? Is there some way they could drive in a different manner to make you a fan of one and not a fan of another?
Oh, yeah, there's people that are more aggressive, there's people that are more strategic. There's people that are just naturally great drivers that if you turn them sideways, they'll somehow keep the car going straight. There's people that are better on the high line than the low line. There's a million things. There's drivers that are better at certain tracks than others.
All right. Well, the driver I always knew of because people who are NASCAR fans in my family.
Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhart.
Yeah.
They were just love Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah, he was the aggressive one.
He was the aggressive one.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you think of him as a driver?
Oh, I liked him.
Would you consider him to be an outstanding driver?
Oh, yeah, he was a great driver. Yeah, he was nuts.
Cool. And then he had to go and die.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the race because I quit watching for years, and then I don't watch. I watch maybe 3 or 4 races a year now, if that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been I probably even watching 3 or 4 races a year has been since I moved down here. Before that, I would watch like a race every 2 or 3 years. One of the races that I just happened to watch after I kind of stopped watching it was the Daytona 500 where Dale Earnhardt got killed.
Wow, he's only like 50 years old, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was young. I'm trying to remember if he and J.D. McDuffie were the only 2 drivers I've ever seen while watching a race die. I think it is. Because there was a driver named J.D. McDuffie who I had actually met a couple weeks before he died. Because my family was big into stock car racing, and we would park my grandpa's motorhome. He would park it along one of the access roads to get out from the infield. So everybody that was in the pits had to drive past us to get to where they were going. And I'm not sure why J.D. McDuffie was leaving early, but he was leaving early, and they hauled some of his crew came like the night before or something like that, and parked across the road from us. I guess just because they probably came up the road and that was probably the first spot they saw, so they parked there. So we talked to them all night and sat around, drank with them, everything else, and it was pretty cool because they had tires and stuff, like stock car tires in the back of their, because they were hauling something. They had the tires and everything, but there was no car. It was just a bunch of tires that were marked.
Okay.
And I think they said why they were leaving early. I don't think he qualified for the race or something.
Oh wow.
So anyway, his crew like actually stayed in, because NASCAR hadn't really exploded at that point. Because NASCAR became crazy in like the early 90s, like 94, 95. In fact, it was after Days of Thunder. You remember Days of Thunder?
Yeah.
Well, before that, it wasn't really like, it was pretty much a Southern sport at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s when we would go. So you could actually walk up kind of near the pit area, and you would see drivers. Like I met Jeff Bodine out there. I met what's his face? It was actually Darrell Waltrip's crew chief. What the hell was his name? Jeff Hammond. I met Jeff Hammond out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, so they talked to us the whole night. Sure enough, the next day, the rest of the crew pulls up and they're like sitting there talking or whatever, kind of putting different stuff on the different haulers. And sure enough, J.D. McDuffie was in one of the haulers.
Oh, wow.
And they were a small team. They didn't have one of those big, what you think of when you think of the NASCAR haulers. They just had like a toy hauler, like what you see come out at the racetrack. With a hitch with a car attached to the back of it.
Wow.
That's
one
how long
car.
ago it was. Yeah, one car. They brought one car. That's because everybody.
Well, what do they do? What do they do when they wreck that car?
They go home just like they are now.
That's fucked up. Yeah, well, I mean, it seems to me that's why you bring additional cars.
Yeah. Well, back then, for whatever reason, you could do it.
Wow.
I guess the competition wasn't that big. Yeah, The competition for the top was big, but the competition to make the race was like, just these guys that are like, weekend racers around, he's just a really rich one,